In 19th century America, lead mining was big business. The #1 producer was the St. Joseph Lead Company, and their mine in Boone Terre, Missouri, was their biggest and most profitable.
This incredible piece of engineering ambition was, at the time, the world's largest man-made cave at over 375 feet high, and it was also the first deep earth lead mine in the world. It's really quite impressive.
This vast cathedral of a mine was operational for 97 years.
This place is epic.
When it closed in 1962, the water pumps that kept the tunnels dry were turned off, creating a 17-mile-long underground lake. And now, the only way to get around is by boat.
Mining this lead is no easy task. The miners are looking for the ore in thin veins, which are spread through the rock. They have to chip it out in large chunks of ore. Now, if we look over here, some of the richest veins extend vertically, 375 feet from the bottom to the top.
So the question was, how to reach that precious metal buried in the walls, over 100 meters off the ground. St. Joe's was a forward-thinking company that prided itself on innovation. It recruited so-called experimental engineers, whose job it was to devise ways of extracting every ounce of ore. These early problem solvers faced the challenge of scaling the heights of these walls.
So this is what they came up with. The trapezes, a series of scaffolding suspended from the ceiling. The workers would work chipping away almost a skyscraper above the ground. The tools they used weighed 50, 60, 80 pounds. The men themselves were large, the rocks were heavy. Such a large amount of weight suspended above that cavernous drop.
And responsible for bearing all that weight, the newly invented rock bolts.
This is actually an original 100-year-old split rock bolt. You can see the split on the end. How would this be installed? Drill a hole in the ceiling and then pound a piece of oak in, which effectively would be a wedge that when you put the bolt into that hole and pound it in, the wedge would slowly split open the bolt, creating a very, very strong anchoring point.
Trapeze mining was a great advance, but it was these rock bolts that proved to be the real innovation.
It was noticed that after the scaffolding was removed, the rock bolts that still remained in the ceiling were holding up the loose rock that otherwise would cave in.
Securing a rock face is precisely what the team in China need to do. So how do the rock bolts achieve this?
I have a container that I'm going to fill with loose gravel. Now the thing about this container is it doesn't actually have a bottom. So now what we need to do is insert the bolts down into the temporary bottom. All right, let's put some gravel in here. We're going to take the top washers and nuts and tighten them down. This will create a compressive force that binds all of the gravel together.
This will replicate the forces at work when bolts are inserted into a crumbling rock ceiling.
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic this is going to work. I'm going to need a bit of help, so I'm going to have Adam from the Boone Terre mine come in and assist me with this. There we go. All right, Adam, slowly try and take the bottom off, temporary bottom. What do you know? It worked. You wouldn't think it's possible, but check it out. It's really, really solid. Management concluded that long bolts placed close together would safely knit the loose rock in the ceiling above us. Without knowing it, the miners here at Boone Terre had inadvertently invented real innovation, which is used all over the world today. What an accomplishment.